Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. And welcome to davidji and Peaches. So we're just going to give it a moment and let all of you jump on with us here.
Yeah, so excited.
It's awesome. Awesome to see you, G, in your treehouse.
And Peaches, the Buddha princess.
Communing with nature.
Yeah, hanging out in the trees here. Yeah, I'm starting to see live comments. How exciting. Hello,
Yes.
Ellen.
Yeah.
Look, it's Joanne Scanlon from PA. Scranton in the house.
Yes, greetings, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us and coming together for this meditation with our dogs and with any other beings that you would like to have join us today. We would love to have you along. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jessica and Cynthia.
Hey, Jess.
Katie, Gina.
And Annette from England.
Oh, yes. Ellen.
Annette from Australia.
Pansy, hello there. So, it's awesome to see all of you guys.
It's Amanda Weber.
Meditate with Amanda. All the babies.
Oh, Canada.
All the babies are here too.
Hi.
Hey, Karen, we know you don't have dogs, but we know you have like an amazing cat.
So as you're all jumping on, let us know that you're here. Let us know where you're watching from.
Hey, Wendy.
Let us know who you're watching with and who you're joining in the meditation alongside you, whether it's a furry companion or a human companion. Just give us
Kim Taylor is here.
What did you say?
Kim Taylor is here with
Winston and
George. Keep it real.
Oh, it's awesome. So yes, if you guys will give us a little thumbs up or a heart, let us know you're here. And even better would be to share, take a moment right now. There are so many people around the world that are going to benefit from meditation, especially by bringing our animals in, just so special and sacred. And we want to get this message out there as wide and far as possible. So if you know a dog lover in your life, take a moment now, share it with them. We'll wait for you. Just down at the bottom of your screen, there's that little share button. I think you know, but just as a reminder, that'll help us really make this huge collective space all around the globe right here and now. From Libertyville with Ariel. Hello there, guys. Oh, my 11 dogs. Wait, my 11 dogs and a cat are watching from Great Falls. Oh, that's so cool.
Great Falls, Montana. Wow,
that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
In Illinois, cat Molly.
11.
Bodie.
I thought we had a lot of pets.
Look, Brent says Peaches is yawning. Peaches has the life of leisure. She just gets to do things like this.
Well, she was not really, I don't want to say she's a diva, but she was curled up in her bed when I suddenly scooped her up and said, "Come on, it's time for the show."
She's not a diva, but she is a Buddha princess. So,
she is.
What can you say? Thanks, guys. It's so great to see everyone. Hello, my beautiful friends. Hi, Karen.
So sending you love in Minneapolis. Big love.
Heck yeah.
Okay. Part of our meditation today is going to be, definitely sending love to Minnesota, to Minneapolis, to everyone who's suffering from this horrific indescribable murder that we were watching. But that's just a symptom of much deeper systemic white advantage, white privilege, and the systemic racism that's been rippling through our country for hundreds and hundreds of years. So this needs to get put in our face every once in a while. Obviously not in such a horrific portrayal, but we need to this could be a really powerful and magnificent wake-up call for our country, for the planet.
Yeah, I think it is. I feel that it is. And the more you see online, the more pain you feel, but also the more inspiration, the voices. Just this morning, I heard several people just speaking out, speaking so clearly, speaking so deep. And, although this is a painful time, it's also potentially a very unifying time. So You know, whether we're doing it with our human friends, with our beings all around the world, with our animals, we see oneness. It's our time to celebrate that in that place in which we are the same. And really, let's look beyond all the differences, no matter what it is, whether it's, how many legs we have, or the color of our skin, or where we come from, or what our accents are. Let's just celebrate that unity, that oneness, and rest in that and be in that. And I think that will have a huge ripple effect all around the world. So hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for being here again. My name is Amanda Ree, and this is my beloved husband, Renee. And this is Benny, Peach's cousin. They are distant relatives. And here's Graham Burns.
Hi to everyone.
The hound dog. The doggos always help us to keep the mood light and put things in perspective. That's definitely what we'll talk a bit more about today. But Sama Dog, our organization, Sama Dog Wellbeing, is all about that, all about the oneness of humans and dogs sharing a natural life and a spiritual life together. So we are very happy to be here with our longtime friends, who is also a fellow dog enthusiast, an internationally recognized teacher of meditation, stress management expert, and the author of 3 critically acclaimed books. We've got The Secrets of Meditation, De-Stressifying, and Sacred Powers. Now you got to put it in the camera, honey.
Oh, slowly in.
I see. It was.
What's the reveal?
There was an effect.
There's a moment. There's a special effect. And there we go.
So davidji, you and your beloved companion, Peaches, the Buddha Princess, welcome, and thank you for coming together with us to guide everyone in meditation.
Thank you, Amanda Ree. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Sama Dog. The work that you guys have been doing. And there's actually only one place that I would ever trust Peaches outside of my house. And I got lots of friends who say, "Oh, we'll take care of Peaches for the night. Oh, we'll feed Peaches. We'll do whatever." And it's like, it's only the Sama Dog Airbnb that I would ever allow her to hang out. When she comes back, she's sort of like, "Yes, I had the you checked the box that said I get the fried egg topover on my breakfast this morning." I'm like, "You're eating better than me."
I know. She probably comes back home a little bit fussier than when she left. Me and all my treats. I can't help myself. So I just want to say before we dive in that if you are enjoying today, if maybe you're newer to the world of davidji, check it out, davidji.com. There's a ton of resources there. He has thousands of meditations, many of which he brings the animal energy in. That's something I've always appreciated and loved and honored in you, G, is that you not only have spoken to humans, which of course is your primary area, but you have been an advocate for the animals, especially for the rescues from the very beginning. And you shout it from the rooftops at every chance you get, and they need our voices. So thank you, my friend, for being that.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's so interesting as we've gone through the last 3 months with the pandemic suddenly shifting our lives, as we've gone through some of these horrific displays of human barbarism, and clearly, the humans need to wake up. Certainly, America needs to wake up. Certainly white America needs to wake up. And, a lot of people are like, "Why are you talking about dogs?" Someone emailed me this morning. "Why are you talking about dogs? Aren't there bigger issues?" And yes, there are bigger issues. Let's not think that that white racism began 4 days ago. It's a huge issue, and that's why I have worked, and Peaches has also worked extensively through the Department of Justice with an organization called Blue Courage, who trains cops. It's an organization of cops, men and women, who travel around the United States teaching precincts, teaching in academies. I've had the pleasure of going up to the San Francisco Police Department just last month and teaching mindful performance. And Blue Courage actually has diversity training as well, and an inherent bias training, really restoring the nobility of policing. So we don't need to compartmentalize. We need to be able to move in all the directions of our life and find how can we be better people? How can we be purer, more connected to our hearts? And I think our dogs and our cats and those beings that we have in our life that are just filled with unconditional love, they give us the lesson of how we should show up in the human world. And I think that's so important. And, when people are like, who cares about animals? It's only about humans. Well, you've just revealed what's in your heart. And so it's either love everything or, your heart is unconditional. It doesn't suddenly say, oh, don't that animals don't matter. Animals are as much an expression of God or of the universe as humans are. And we have so much to learn from animals who, aren't stuck on their phones, don't discriminate based on color, have no sense of privilege. Suddenly we go through this whole thing and it's like, wow, there's so much power in what our dogs can share with us. And, so I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for the work that you do. And I want to celebrate Peaches, and I do celebrate Peaches every day. And I want to celebrate all people who have an opportunity to practice loving others on their companion animals. And because we don't always get it right in the human world, we fail a lot in the human world. And so if we can just keep reinforcing that and training ourselves to love more unconditionally and to not see through a lens of privilege, but a lens of open-heartedness, then I think the world shifts. I believe we transform the world by transforming ourselves. And Peaches has been, people ask me all the time, who's your greatest, you've met His Holiness the Dalai Lama, you've hung out with Deepak all this time, you've partied with Wayne Dyer. Who's the greatest, the wisest teacher? And I always go, oh, that's easy. It's Peaches the Buddha Princess. So she has been my most powerful and profound teacher. Because if you're paying attention, that's the key. Our dogs are always teaching us, but you have to be paying attention as well.
Yeah. And I also think that, our dogs, one of the things that are so helpful for me, at least, is that dog always bring us in the present moment. They're always here. They're never, so it's such a great reminder to, we get so caught up in all the things that we do, but, and then we get lost, we get, feel the stress, feel the anxiety coming up. But then when you look at your dog, he's just right there in front of you, and he's just so present. And then it's such a reminder for me, like, just be here now, just rest, just enjoy this moment for what it is, and carry on then with whatever it is that you're doing, but with peace in your heart, just like that dog. And so for me, the dog is often a reflection of calmness, a reflection of healing, a reflection of wholeness, joy, and so in that sense, I think, you talked about, in the beginning, what was going on in the world right now. And I think that that's where the dog can play an important role, not as a distraction, on the contrary, but to bring present moment awareness into your life, like what is important right now, what is meaningful right now. And that's, I think, dogs do a great job at that.
What you just said is so brilliant, Renee, because we can lose sight of what's meaningful. And we can suddenly think, oh, the fact that I don't have Wi-Fi right now is meaningful. And the fact that, my cousin's mad at me is meaningful. And the fact that, see that hummingbird? Just go, probably not. The fact, it helps us connect. And we have found that having a gratitude practice, meditating, and spending time in nature, and certainly communing with our companion animals all seem to create the same neural impact on the brain, that same level of expansion of those parts of the brain that suddenly bring us out of the past, out of the future, and into the present moment. And when we can have like meaning in the present moment, that's where we can make such profound shifts. So when people say like, what's this have to do with what's going on in the world? I would say everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Because if you're just a swirl of hormones and chemicals, you're not speaking articulately. You're not sharing purposefully. You're not really connecting clearly on what the solution to the source issue is. You're just dealing with a symptom. And if we're going to shift the world, it's not just, differently than in our bodies, it's not just putting a dab of something on the symptom. It's going to the source. And that's what Ayurveda always teaches us. Amanda, you and I were taught that the definition of health in the Western world is the absence of disease, which really just means if you can't see it.
Yeah.
So
it's not there.
Look at like the concept of white privilege or white advantage. That's if you just don't see it, then then everything's good. We're all healthy. Ayurveda goes so much deeper. Ayurveda says that health is not the absence of disease or the diagnosis of the disease. Health is emotional and physical balance and integration. And I would say right now, there's not a lot of emotional balance, certainly swirling through the planet. First with people dying and a virus that we don't understand and no one seems to be an expert on. And then suddenly with this flood of these symptoms of the systemic racism in our society that are, popping up as well, which have been going on for 400 years. So I think that's like, it's like, let's go to the source and then connect to the balance. And I know no better way, people who live in cities don't necessarily get to spend time in nature. But you and I, are fortunate to live in places where when we take our dogs for walks, there's trees. And, we can look at a sky that's not as polluted as other places. I mean, our walks every morning are really, they're deep gratitude practices. And I film a lot of them. Those are my Instagram stories because that's the greatest joy in my life. It's, and people like, could you do something else other than film Peaches Tush swinging back and forth? And I go, she's skipping. I want to film that every single day. When's the last time you skipped? If we could just have some skipping. And again, as Renee said, this isn't to distract us. This isn't so that we're joyful, so we can get away from the agony that we're feeling. This is so we integrate as whole beings. We can integrate. If you're only in pain, you're not going to show up as your best version. We need to, this is, classic teachings from Martin Luther King's autobiography even. He struggled with, he wanted to have this whole movement going on. Martin Luther King, we know him as like the guy, the civil rights movement. He's the guy who like really in nonviolent civil disobedience. But there was simultaneously the Vietnam War was going on. And he was, being encouraged to zip it and not distract from the movement. He was like, no, we people in the movement were saying like, we're on a roll. We're starting to get some traction here. So don't bring in, don't make this about anti-war. Just don't do that. And he struggled and he was enraged because like who was dying in the Vietnam War? Mostly people of color, mostly disadvantaged people, people who had the out to go to school or get the deferment or had a bone spur. Those are the people who didn't have to end up serving. And so he struggled with this for months, not for days, but for months. And then ultimately he said, I'm going to channel my rage and I'm going to lean even deeper. I'm going to speak out against the war, but I'm going to do it as part of this more holistic concept. And that fueled the entire, by doing that, by trusting it, by ultimately channeling his rage, not yelling about it, but pouring that rage into his dharma, his purpose at the time, that's when the civil rights movement truly took off, because he realized it's deeper than just a march here and there. We've got to change how the world thinks, and we'll do this by through this process of nonviolent civil disobedience. And my God, so we shouldn't compartmentalize. We should find the magnificence, with our companion animals. We should find magnificence wherever it rests. And guess what? It's resting everywhere. And then use that as the fuel to then step further into our power.
Yeah, and with compassion, right? I think social media and conversations like this are so powerful. There's a lot of people watching this, and you, all of us as an individual, we can make a statement. We can make an impact through this by with compassion, demonstrating that, letting the world know that. We're not agreeing with discrimination and any sort of differences between races, and I think it's a very powerful thing. And as long as we bring forth that with compassion, even though reactivity, of course, is a very natural thing to be reactive to this, but the more we do this with compassion, then we ripple that change into the world. We bring that love, we bring that compassion into the world. And the more people do that, the more this is a conversation. The more this is a conversation, then authorities at some point, they cannot ignore this, and right. That's how we can make a change. And I think this is very, very powerful.
Yeah. And I think channeling also your passion, just as you spoke about, with Martin Luther King, you channel that rage. It's still passion. It's still fire. And essentially at its core, it's love. If we didn't have love, if we didn't feel that compassionate connection, we wouldn't feel enraged. And so when we see this as energy, whatever that energy takes form as, and we're able to then channel it through ourselves and into the world, however that looks for us. And for me, and somewhat for Renee too, and somewhat for you too, G. And I think for many of us on the line, that's through our animals, because they are such a representation of unconditional love. And when we're with them and when we're in our heart, in presence with them, there's a beauty that we find in few other places. And if our world can experience, us as individuals can experience a little bit more of that, no matter where we get it from, we're going to be able to be healed by that. And we're going to step out of our house a little lighter, a little more joyful, a little more kind, and it can make a huge difference. So they're not just a dog, they're something that is a generator of truth and love in our lives.
Right. And what we've always, taught as meditation teachers is that, and this is really such an important teaching that Peaches has taught me, and it's echoed, in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 48, which is yoga sta kuru karmani, which is, yoga sta, establish yourself in the present moment. Kuru karmani, then perform action. And that's what Peaches, Peaches, right before she does whatever, gets like totally still. And then she like chases that bird, or then she doesn't just like fly off. And so what an important training for all of us, so that when an experience comes into us, whether we're watching it or hearing about it or reading it, suddenly we can ingest it, get still, get into that place of yoga sta, and then perform action. And that's why, that action that we perform will be so much better, more purposeful, more reflective, more thoughtful, and more powerful if we do that. So I think that right now our companion animals, I can't really speak for cats, sorry about that, but Peaches is very, very cat-like. I'm sure that before Peaches came in to rescue me in my life, she was probably in a house with some cats, because I think her early imprinting is very, very catty.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Or I thought you were going to say her past life she was a cat, which could be.
And we have a
in the
lot of
past life,
people all over the world. Did you see it in the?
Yeah, people from all over the world. Ella
From
just
Berlin.
stepped in. Ella's on with us from the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands.
I want to show this comment, a few comments. Lori, that's why disease that doesn't show outward symptoms are not recognized as an example of mental health. No, it's so true. We don't see it, so it's not there. But that is not the Ayurvedic way, the way of yoga, meditation, and Ayurveda. That's not what we even, we don't recognize it that way. And when we start to see it differently, to see beneath what's just on the surface, that's where true healing lies, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, communal. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I wanted to also, there was another comment back here. Patty says, you can talk to your animals and they understand and sense your sadness and cheer you up, and they don't tell your secrets. Isn't that the truth? Maybe they do to their dog friends, but we don't know.
Among one another, they do. Maybe.
Yeah, and we know that companion animals are empaths of energy. So, they know if you're low. Well, let's put it this way. Maybe they don't understand the actual human emotion, but they understand the energetic rise and fall. And they understand when you're depleted with energy, when you've got aggressive energy, when you've got kind energy, when they're very nuanced with that.
Yeah.
Certainly Peaches has really taught me that. She teaches emotional intelligence. She teaches me to pay attention more to other people's emotions and other people's words. And
is a highly advanced being. I mean, she's sat for the last 8 years, 10 years in thousands of meditations. She's led meditations. When you were at the Chopra Center, you were leading thousands of meditations, and oftentimes you would take Peaches on your lap, and all the people were, enjoying that. And it was actually Peaches who was leading you in meditation. It was.
Yeah, I have this fun memory of being on stage. I think it was some seduction of spirit, and there were 500 people. This is at La Costa, and I laid Peaches down in her own little chair next to me, and she, with a whole room, 500 people, and she just curled up and laid there, meditated with us. I think it was I was teaching the law of detachment or something like that. And she was just just hanging out, drinking it in. She's since then I've had 15 Masters of Wisdom and Meditation teacher trainings. She's attended all of them. And probably, another 20 at the Chopra Center. She's been through 15 seduction of spirits and journey into healings. She drinks it all in. She doesn't put it in my face. She doesn't go Dad, clearly that's not something a pitta like you should be eating right now. She doesn't go there.
Yeah. And does everybody that is on this call, on this live stream right now, know the relationship between the two of you, that you've known each other for a very long time and worked together very long? Maybe people like to hear a little bit about your connection and your history.
Yeah. G, David G, I call him G. Go back. He and I go back so far. It's now almost 15 years, if you can even believe it, that I synchronistically got my resume into his hands, and he was running the Chopra Center at that time. I'll never forget the voicemail that was left with his, velvety voice. Call me back. At that time, it was green, as in the heart chakra. was his email address. And I just thought, wow, there is a whole company out there of people that are like-minded, and I belong there. I can't wait to get there and to meet with him. And that first interview, I always joke about it, G, how we went deep, and there were tears, there were laughs, there were secrets divulged that you do not normally say when you're trying to get the job. And yet it all worked out, and you hired me to run the events. I spent many years doing that. We spent so much time on the stages all around the world together, helping, supporting, guiding, teaming up with Deepak and the whole team, getting to know deeply David Simon, our beyond this earth plane teacher and inspiration in this world. And he still connects our hearts so deeply. So many of us, I know many that are on the line as well. And especially in our animal work, David Simon was the co-founder of the Chopra Center and a dear friend of Deepak's, and they really created all of that together originally. And David was a big animal person. He was into dogs. He was into nature. When you said, G, that the hummingbird flew across real quick, I knew that that was David saying hello to us right now. He always does. And David G has immediately became a teacher, a mentor, and a dear, dear friend, and has supported Sama Dog, supported us in our marriage, supported this career path in ways that I can't even explain with words. And so the gratitude is deep and the love is real. And a very special part about it is how we also can bond within our fur friends.
Yeah, and you two traveled all over, right? It was back in the day. It was a fairly.
We did. We've traveled to Europe and to to Oxford and to
England, Ireland, South America, Canada, many times. All of our Canadian friends,
teaching the Ayurveda, teaching the meditation, and bringing this self-awareness, this love, compassion, the deeper understanding of yourself into this world. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I think it's nice to call it out that the two of you have such a long history and have been working on this, at this, to transform people's life for so many years. It's really quite something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm such a fan of you, Amanda, and of Sama Dog, and the work that you do. I know it's so powerful. Ellen says, Peaches always comforts us at the teacher trainings. When it's our turn to lead the group in meditation, she snuggles and calms us one at a time. Such love.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that. Look, Shelley knows Dr. Simon.
Yeah.
And then let's see what Rachel says. I used to have a dog named Stella. She watched over our two cats and loved them unconditionally. She taught me to love everyone, no matter who or what they are. See, Rachel is a perfect example. That's why we're doing this. That's how we bring this conversation together.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes being able to do something seems far away. Like now with the internet and technology, yes, there's more ways that we can take action. But loving those that are in our home, whoever they are, loving them fully and completely is an essential and powerful practice that can transform us in and of itself. So it doesn't matter who we are.
Right. So you can't really say that you're, unconditionally loving when we're not. None of us are. None of us are. Maybe like 5 people on the planet have been, Jesus, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, MLK, I'm sure there's like another handful that don't come to mind right now. But the rest of us are conditional lovers. We are conditional, which is why those other people who are unconditional are so amazing. So imagine there's like a whole species on our planet, a whole species that could teach us to be unconditional.
Yeah, they're one of a kind. These beings are one of a kind. There's no other animal that man/woman has transformed to be our lifelong friends, to be this very specific role in our lives of love and forgiveness. It's really quite remarkable that we've not only have we bred all these dogs that look very different shapes and sizes and all these different tendencies, but just taking a moment to think about that we made them. So we basically made friends of these species. And it's just an interesting thing to think about, I think. And that's why they can have such a unique role in this world and in our human lives.
Right. One of the most powerful books that I ever read is Dominion by Matthew Scully, who was actually a speechwriter for George W. Bush, which is spectacular because, and it talks about the dominion we have over all the animals in our life, whether these are field animals, whether these are animals in factory farms, whether these are wild animals on the prairie, and whether these are domesticated animals, in our life. And yeah, there's been like a multi-thousand-year integration. And some dogs, they want to serve at like a very, very high level. Those working dogs, give them a task they want to do. Other dogs, they just want to curl up in our laps. That's their task. So dogs understand their dharma. Inherently, we struggle with it. So many people, I've had workshops over the years, discover your dharma, because so many people, struggle with like, why am I here? What's my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing right now? Not dogs. Dogs are like dharma complete. They're dharma whole. And they have that unique ability to be like, here's what I'm here for. I'm just saying, I'm showing up. Here's what I'm here for. Learn from that.
Yeah.
Learn from that.
Yeah. They're magical. It's just magical how they can guide us if we open to it. And I wanted to show this comment by Rachel. I used to have a dog named Stella. She watched over. Oh, that one is the one we just read. There was another one. No, I lost it. Okay, we'll come back to that. Let's see here what Diane says. Sundance reflects my current energy most times. So when she hides under the bed, I know I need to look at what's going on with me at that moment. Loving this conversation. Oh, good, Diane.
That's good. Good insight.
Yeah, it's true. I have a connection like that with Benny, very deep. And he's a pitta, obviously, a fiery little terrier dog in himself. But what I often will be guided to through Benny is when he gets very barky and yappy and reactive to everything around him. And I check in, just like Diana just said, I check in, and that's what's going on with me. I'm intense, I'm reactive, I'm out of balance. Yet I was just shouting at him a moment ago to stop barking. And then I just realized I need to stop barking. So it's such a good reflection.
Right. Because we think about like what they're barking, someone's coming, someone's here. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But someone's coming and you need to know. Our barking is really, that's how you're going to show up? Really? How come you're not doing this? How come you're not doing that? That's our barking.
It's sometimes silent barking, but it's still loud.
Right, exactly.
So in that light, davidji, can you tell us maybe 3 things that Peaches has taught you?
Especially in the last couple of months.
Yeah, well, when I first met Peaches, she's not doing it right now because she wants to crawl out of her special, special
bed.
Special I call it her Instagram bed. I've got it in like 3 sizes, depending on what she feels like in the moment. Does she want to be like thunder shirted in the little one, or does she want to lounge in the big one? So she, her original teaching to me was resist nothing and you will receive unconditional love. Now, again, a lot of people say, what do you mean? There's so much injustice. How can you not resist it? We're talking about how you get to the place where you can then show up as your best version. Not about what the social injustice is, not about what the situation is outside of you, but how do you get to your best place? Because the problem is we're so rigidly formed and with very, very clear limiting beliefs and with very, very clear boundaries about what information will acknowledge or allow and what things will be open about and what things will be open-hearted about, and we're hiding shadows and like there's all this stuff. Well, how do we get to that next place of personal evolution? How do we get to grow and learn? We have to resist nothing at first. We have to let it all come in. And I would think that probably everybody listening here has not necessarily experienced unconditional love in their life flowing to them. We have that filter down really tight. Maybe our heart was broken. And so we've got a wall built up where I only let love in from these kind of people or this people. I'm a little scared of that people or whatever. How are we going to get to that place to truly receive the unconditional love of the universe? And it's resist nothing and you'll receive unconditional love. Mm-hmm. And so, she was, crawling out of her bed, but pretty much, we've been together like 10 and a half years.
Wow.
And she has taught me every day that I need to resist a little bit less imposing my will on the moment. resist a little bit less telling other people how they should act or how they should show up. Resist a little bit less and open up and receive all that the universe. So that's like the number one teaching. She also Peaches has been like really consistent in her tenderness. She's not she's not like schizophrenic in multiple behaviors in terms of she's sweet. She is a sweet being. And so when I think about Peaches, I only think of a kind, sweet being. And a lot of times we, in our lives, we sort of like offset our bad behaviors by being sweet in a moment.
Yeah.
We're sort of like, we're acting like a jerk, but then we're like, oh, can I carry that for you? After we've just like demeaned somebody or something like that. Where we go like, well, I gave $10 to a homeless person on the street, and it's like, well, that didn't offset the fact that you were brutal to somebody else, and so she really teaches me that that consistency of heart. If I am like doing something to her, like cutting her nails or cutting her hair or trying to squirt something into her mouth, or give her a pill or something like that, she has never ever, not even for a millisecond, tried to like bite me or freak out. She's like, she may shake her head. She's like, I don't like this, but I'm guessing what you're doing to me can help me at some level. So I'm just going to trust. And so she has taught me such deep trust in other people without me saying, well, I know what their intention is, or I know what they're trying to do, or I know better. She doesn't. And she knows better. That's the thing. She knows better, but doesn't put it in my face. She's willing to like trust in that way. And, as Ellen said, she's mindful. And, mindful as opposed to mindless. We've all been mindless. She's thoughtful rather than thoughtless. She's unconditioned as opposed to conditioned. I'm like, oh my God, if I could just, I've signed up for your online course, Peaches, but, I enjoy so much more her time that she's actually, with me. You've got a pug in the house, a pug mix, Sienna, from Santa Fe.
Oh, nice. Nice. I like this comment here. The God source frequency is divine light and unconditional love. The animals live in this frequency in each moment, and we can also. They are teaching us. Isn't that the truth, Tina? Brilliant.
Yeah.
And trust, you bring that in, and it's the key. Whenever I'm guiding people, doing consultations, doing the online courses, that is such a theme, because trust is trust is the core to the relationship with our dogs. And humans can be manipulated in the mind a little bit to like believe in trust, but dogs have it intuitively in them and can sense it intuitively in us, and they see right through that. So if there's not trust in this bond, you will have a misbehaving dog or a dog that falls ill. You'll struggle. But the deeper you can build that bond internally of authenticity, you will be able to heal each other, and you will access all the beautiful awareness that's being shared on the line that so many of us are. And the people that can share that, it's because they have deep trust there. And I think that that's actually a limited experience for many of us. I mean, I've known several people who I don't trust anybody. It's like, well, then practice that with an animal, because they will give you that if you give that to them. You can work the muscle.
Yeah. We talk about, and most dog people talk about dog breeds, but you've taken it deeper. And I'm so grateful because you're so authentic. You've actually gone deeper into the oldest healing system on the planet, Ayurveda, which really integrates life outside of us, lifestyle, food, behavior, like this whole swirl of everything, and going beyond breeds to actually dog doshas, the dog's basic natures. And I think, and don't you have a dog or an animal dosha quiz on your website?
Benny's bored. He's like, oh, I've done that quiz so many times.
I know what I am.
I'm a pitta through and through.
Like I'm a pizza. I know what I am.
Yes, we do. It's at, if anybody wants to check it out and learn what your dog's dosha is, if you don't know what that is that we're referring to, like G said, it's in Ayurveda and it's the body-mind type. So yes, by knowing their breed, just like that, you get to know kind of personality tendencies and things to watch out for, things, that they may kind of the categories that they'll fall into, but actually taking it even deeper with learning what makes them up. What is their composition? What elements, it really gets down to that, what elements are most present in them? And then when we know that, we can make the choices for their food, for their behavior, for their training, for their daily routines, for their aging process to help them thrive. So the first step is to learn their dosha, and that's a lot of fun. You can do it. It's samadog.com/quiz.
I love that. Love
Rachel McCann, that she has a beautiful thing to say.
Let's see what Rachel says.
That's amazing.
We have to realize that if we don't treat our furry friends with unconditional love, then how can we possibly treat others the same way? Beautiful. We can really tell a lot about a person by the way they treat animals. So always treat animals and humans with love and respect. Yeah, that's awesome. Beautiful.
Very good.
Yeah.
And davidji, I think you because I sense a little anxiety coming up in myself because I think you only mentioned 2 of the 3 things that Peaches taught you so beautifully. I just want to go full circle. What is the third one?
He's not letting you off the hook.
What's the third thing? Peaches has always taught me that if I take care of myself first, I can actually, with self-care, I can actually serve others at a higher level. So, she does that. If she's got an itch or something like that, she needs to scratch that itch before she then jumps out. Otherwise, the whole time we're walking, she's going to be trying to get to that hot spot or that itch or something along those lines. So she has taught me that, the cornerstone of self-care is to, put the mask on first before you help other people. And, it's such a powerful teaching because she wants to serve and she wants to show up and she's a healer. She wears her medicine Buddha, around her neck, and it's not just designed to be a piece of spiritual paraphernalia, as David Simon would say. It's really because she embodies this constantly, and we think that's being selfish, but no, she takes care of herself and then serves unconditionally. And because of that, she never gets burnt out. Because of that, she never gets irritated with me. Because of that, she's always well rested. Because of that, she's in balance all the time. And what a teaching. What a magnificent teaching. So I hope that fulfills my third requirement of that.
Really well.
Really well.
And I just want to say before we go into meditation, if anyone would like to learn more from davidji and you haven't yet, or maybe you're newer to this conversation, continue on with him. You will see, and you already see, that he is a wealth of wisdom and again, with the center point of love. There's lots of theory and he's a brilliant being with lots of details to share with you. But what you will find is that you will love yourself and you will love others in just spending time with G. So I encourage you to do it. As I said, davidji.com is a great resource. All the things there, many meditations. But there's 2 programs that he has right now that I wanted to share with our audience because I know there's many people falling in love with you, G. And one is that I discovered yesterday. I was telling you about on Insight Timer. He has 40 days of transformation, and it's a wonderful program. If you have that app, it's a meditation timer app, and you can be guided by G through that experience. You'll find all the details there. He talks about what's to come in a great audio message. And then the other opportunity, if you want to dive even deeper, he has a Zoom class starting on June 7 called Sacred Powers. So you can find information about that on his website, and he will be guiding you through, what is it, G? Is it 6 weeks?
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
5 weeks, twice a week, Sunday morning, Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah. So we'll dive deep into Sacred Powers, and it kicks off on June 7th, Prince's birthday.
Oh, love it!
So
Valerie
Peaches, the
says,
Buddha princess,
best
loves
friend.
Prince because that's her
Oh yeah,
other side.
that's one of her faves.
Very cool.
Oh, that's great. Yes, a few of you have definitely experienced. Oh, look, David G is my angel. I agree.
Oh,
Thank
thank you.
goodness he has many a halo to be able to share with so many of us.
It's so
So,
sweet.
do you want to meditate? You want to guide us?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's meditate together. So wherever you are, even if you don't have a companion animal, if you've had a companion animal, this would be that moment for you to, just, deeply connect. But if you have a companion animal, you don't have to drag them in to the, Peaches sometimes prefers to sit on the other side of the room than me when I meditate, sometimes in my lap, sometimes with her tush just resting against me so that we have contact. But let's see, animals know when someone's meditating versus sleeping. So why don't we settle in? Remember, comfort is queen. Oh, Renee, that's the fourth thing that Peaches has always taught me. Comfort is queen. She could change her position and swirl around and then sit and go like, nope, that's not it. And then do it again. Last night on the couch, she must have done it 5 different times until she was like, oh yes, Goldilocks, just right. And so she has taught me, just always keep moving towards comfort.
I like that.
Yeah. So let's settle in. Let's close our eyes and take a long, slow, deep breath in. And ever so gently let that go. And let's do that again. Long, slow, deep breath in. And gently release. And now drift your attention to your heart. And drift your attention simultaneously to the heart of your companion animal, whether in this realm or in the beyond. And as we breathe, feel those two hearts come closer and closer together as we breathe into each one of them simultaneously and breathe out of each one of them simultaneously. It's okay. You may drift away to thoughts or feelings, physical sensations, sounds. Just keep coming back to your heart and the heart of your companion animal. And just allow them. Accept them. Receive the breath into both of them. And notice that your mind is calming. Notice that your body is relaxing. Notice that the swirl outside of you and inside of you is slowing down. And just feel your heart and your companion animal's heart beginning to merge. Feel the heartbeats beginning to sync. And we'll do a mini metta meditation, a mini unconditional love meditation. As you breathe in, allow unconditional loving kindness to come into your companion animal's heart and your heart simultaneously. Feel that fusion of metta. And as you exhale, radiate it out to a situation in which there's suffering or struggle or pain or misunderstanding. Maybe it's a person you know, maybe it's something much, much bigger than that. Again, long, slow, deep breath in. Feel it pour into your heart and the heart of your companion animal. Feel it expand. So much love to give. And as you exhale, send it out to someone who's suffering, struggling, or in pain. Let's do that again. Long, slow, deep breath in. Feel your hearts overflowing with love. You're just a channel of love, this fused channel of healing. You're just this magnificent combined love machine. You breathe it in as pure, unconditional love, and you flow it back out to someone who's suffering, struggling, or in pain. Breathe in that expansive, powerful love into both of your hearts. And exhale it out as healing light to someone, some circumstance, or something that's suffering, struggling, or in pain. And let's just stay in this space right now, allowing with each breath for that unconditional loving kindness, that metta to pour into you, and that combined heart, that fusion of magnificence. And as you exhale, just radiate it out as healing light to someplace, someone that could use that healing. And now with your next inhale, allow that metta, that unconditional loving kindness to pour into you. And as you exhale, send it out into the world in gratitude. Just allow gratitude to ripple from you. You breathe in love, you breathe out gratitude. Now breathe in metta. Feel your heart expand. You've got so much love to give right now. And as you exhale, send out compassion. Compassion to anyone in pain, suffering, or struggling. Breathe in love, and you flow out compassion. Next, long, slow, deep breath in of love. And ripple out kindness, self-kindness at first, into yourself. One of Peach's deep teachings, self-care. And then see that wave of self-kindness turn into kindness for your heart, kindness for your body, kindness for your companion animal, kindness for your core relationships. Just allow that to expand. See that wave getting wider and wider, touching places, people, circumstances that could use just a little more kindness, a little more understanding, a little more love. And now finally, long, slow, deep breath in. Feel your heart expand. And radiate joy. Your ability to touch others, to help them heal, to flow kindness, compassion, sweet love, so that their lives can evolve, heal, and thrive. And now let's seal this meditation. We'll seal it by chanting Om, the hymn of the universe, the vibration that contains every vibration, every wag, woof, and bark, every thought silently, and every scream. Sound of every car engine and every bird chirping. Sound of the waves, all the primordial sounds, and the sounds of man and womankind. Om contains every vibration that has ever existed and will ever exist. So let's herald our oneness with our companion animals, with each other as sentient beings, and with all of humanity by chanting Om just one time. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. When it feels comfortable, you can slowly open your eyes. You can look around at those who you shared this collective consciousness with.
Namaste, my loves.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.
You could put your paws together.
Yeah. Namaste.
Bow your head just a little bit. Come on, Peaches. Bow your head just a little bit. Okay. And then say namaste. I honor the divine light in you that's also in me. And when you're in that space, oh, am I keeping you up? And when I'm in that space, Peaches is like, really? You're defining namaste for me? I taught you that word.
I taught you that word.
So what's Peaches' fifth teaching? I am neither above nor below anyone. That's it.
Such wisdom.
Yeah. So for everyone who, if you just joined us, yes, you missed us live, but Amanda has recorded this, so this will live forever.
Yes, it will. I just posted into the comments that it'll be on both of our pages, as well as, are we there? Yeah, as well as on the YouTube for Samadog Wellbeing. I'll put it over there as well.
Yeah. Hey, I love this platform that you found, Amanda. So great. We're on this like individual platform, and we're simultaneously streaming it out to both of our Facebook pages as well. Thank you so much for your kind words, everyone.
Yeah,
Ellen,
wonderful.
Ellen, I cherish our connection so much.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you for your support, for your hearts, and for collecting all your companion animals together, because we feel that the power of this collective is really strong. We transform the world by transforming ourselves, and hopefully our companion animals help us get to that place of really deep, powerful transformation. So can you show us all the members of your pack? Are they all there right now, Amanda?
Except for Violet. Violet's come here, Violet. She's kapha, and that means that she's earthy, and she doesn't move a whole lot, especially before noon. So she's chilling next to us here in a reclined position, but the rest of them are all here. Yeah. So you can, there's Graham down on the floor. Benny's sitting on Graham as always. They're brothers from other mothers. And there's Maya.
Here's Maya. Yeah, and by the way, if Violet would come onto the screen, it would blacken out the screen because she's huge. But she's lazy.
Come here, Mama.
Are you coming?
Come here.
Oh, she's coming. Hold on, people. Don't go. Don't close. Don't stop. She's coming. You won't see anything. The screen will be
here she
filled.
comes, the big girl.
Good mama.
This is a
there
big girl.
she is.
Come closer.
Oh yeah, look at her.
Oh, Maya, don't growl. Jealous. Maya's in love with Renee. Anybody that gets close to Renee is.
Hi, look at this.
Low on Maya's list.
And I'm in love with Vi.
Oh yeah, she's huge.
She's the sweetest.
Yes.
She is the epitome of loving kindness as well.
She is.
Even we have these little rats, little pet rats that some people find crazy, but I find them very adorable. And I brought them up to her again yesterday, and the way she just puts her nose towards them and sniffs them, a little lick. The rats are just like, they don't know what to think of her, and just such a gentle being. Yeah. Oh, and that was it. That was the appearance.
Thank you, Violet. So in love with Violet.
Okay.
All right. We love you, G, and we love you, everyone.
Love you too.
On the line now with us. Thank you all. Yeah. Karen says Maya's the size of Violet's head.
I warned you. She's big, yes. Yeah. Well, thanks everybody on the line. I mean, this is an amazing, and this is how we build community, like-minded people, and together, by having these mindful conversations, we will create this ripple effect into the world and create more love, more compassion, more joy, more equanimity, and a better world for all the animals and for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and thank you again, Amanda, for your magnificent, wide open heart, for your authenticity, for your integrity, and really for the work that you do. So many lives are healed and so many lives are saved because of the work that you do, and not many people can say that. So thank you.
Well, thank you, G. I learned from the best. So we'll see you all next time. Lots of love. Namaste.
Yeah, everyone go to samadog.com And definitely take that quiz, sumadog.com/quiz. You definitely want to be doing that. Find out what your doggy dosha is.
Oh, wait, there's one final appearance. You can see why I fell in love with this crazy guy. Like crazy
I love
dogs,
you, Renee.
crazy people. It's why G's my bestie. All right. I can tell we don't want to let go. It's so good here. It feels so good here.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Very for
Thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Go Peaches. You are so